Sports, a part of the British Sky Broadcasting Network.
This week on NHRA Today, the Johnson family gives Disney World a whirl, while Kurt and Greg discover virtual reality. Alcohol dragsters dual division leap, and a flashback to a colossal Columbus catch. From the 29th Annual Oldsmobile Spring Nationals, these stories and more on this edition of NHRA Today. Every drag racing fan knows that once the month of June rolls around, the only place to be is National Trail Raceway and the Oldsmobile Spring Nationals. In addition to its legacy of speed, this event also serves as a homecoming of sorts for some of the sport's top competitors. In Top Fuel, the leading Buckeye is Jim Head, whose nitro innovations produced a #1 qualifying spot at the most recent national event. Pro Stock boasts a trio of hometown heroes: Oldsmobile racers Mark Powick and Larry Morgan, and California transplant Jerry Ekman and his Pontiac. In the feisty Fuel Coupes, two of the rookie class of '93 are Ohioans: Rick Cray, who cracked the field at Memphis, and Dean Scusa, who hit the 520 zone at Englishtown. You can be sure that each of these racers will be looking to use their home court advantage to the fullest as the Winston Championship nears the halfway mark. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this edition of NHRA Today. I'm Steve Evans. In the next half hour, we'll bring you a preview of this event, and we'll spend some relaxation time with a whole bunch of Johnsons. We'll go to Disney World with Top Fuel driver Tommy Johnson and his family, and we'll explore the world of high-tech video games with Pro Stock driver Kurt. Going to be a very busy show, but our first order of business has to be what's hot. These are fuel samples taken at NHRA's fuel check here on the return road in Columbus. As long as there has been stock car racing, there have been racers that would push the rules to the limit and maybe beyond. They call that cheating right here. It has long been suspicioned that some NHRA drag racing pro stock teams might be adding an agent to their gasoline to increase the oxygen content, make it more potent. Normally, that would be detected here, but the crafty devils have come up with a masking agent that hides it. Well, as of Columbus, NHRA has a test to find that masking agent. Look on the left there, the clear fuel with the amber at the bottom. That's legal fuel. It's been tested. That's the way it came from the manufacturer. On the right, that is bogus fuel. Whoever is using it could be in real trouble. Now, there's one team in Top Fuel that's not pushing the rules. If anything, they don't want everything they're allowed. Kenny Bernstein is debuting a brand new Top Fuel dragster here at Columbus that does not meet the maximum 300-inch wheelbase. They only want 285 inches in this new car. Dale Armstrong has long thought that the shorter car would make weight transfer and weight management more controllable. And witnessed the performance of Eddie Hill recently, I think that's been verified. Kenny Bernstein's only concern with the new car is that he's lost 15 inches of sign space for his sponsors. And that's what's hot. Since we were last here at National Trail Raceway in 1992, some improvements have been made to the racing surface itself. For one thing, the concrete launch pad is now 360 feet long, and again, they've extended the shutdown area. And this part of the track at the far end has seen its share of wild action. Well, such as the ride current Top Fuel driver Mike Dunn took in a funny car 10 years ago.
The 1983 Spring Nationals, I remember it well. That wasn't a good race for me, obviously. One of those deals just starting out. I think it was my second year with Roland in the Wine Punch car, and at the throttle stick, it blew the right rear tire out, burned the chutes off it, went to give it a lot of, give it some brake, and with the tire blown out, it pulled the car to the left. And luckily, the fire was down low to where I could still see where I was going. And I saw off the left there was a lot of trees, and I knew I didn't want to be over there, so I thought I'd be better off going in the net. And amazingly enough, the net stopped me, and I got out, and everything was okay.
So far, in the 1993 Pro Stock season, one of the biggest surprises has been the success of Kurt Johnson, who has made it to the final round twice, only to be beaten both times by his own father, Warren. Now, Kurt is a highly competitive individual, so recently we went to a high-tech game center to see him in action. It wasn't easy for a competitor like Kurt Johnson to lose to his own dad, especially twice. But to make matters worse, Warren's crew chief, Greg Anderson, is one of Kurt's best friends. And needless to say, Greg's giving Kurt no sympathy. However, he did agree to give Kurt a chance to even the score, away from the track that is. The bet? Cleanup duties at the shop for 2 weeks. The challenge was held here at Dave & Buster's in Marietta, Georgia, one of the most amazing entertainment facilities in the world. To start things off, a little taste of the Old West.
Hang on, strangers, and welcome aboard. Hey, can you hit that dynamite? Not bad. Shoot that skull, it's strong. Good shot.
Not tools.
Do you want to play?
Well, your history, partner.
Then it was on to more familiar territory, bike racing. After 2 games in a best-of-5 series, Kurt was leading 2 games to none. But then came virtual racing.
There we go. They're set back there. Oh, baby. Oh, right. Oh, get back on again. Oh, my God. What a moment.
Oh, spanked you, just like your dad.
Yeah, you gotta build up your confidence.
Next, the 2 competitors decided to lower their horsepower to 1.
Like it's 12, Dixie in the lead, and Lucky Lady following close behind. Lucky number 12, Dixie.
Finally, with the score now even, the tiebreaker. One of the most incredible games ever devised, virtual reality. Once the helmet is on, the players enter an entirely new world. Everything is seen in 3D, and the game actually responds to the player's movements. If the player turns left and looks up, the screen turns left and looks up. The object is to find your opponent and shoot him before he shoots you. Oh, one other hazard to keep in mind, occasionally a hungry pterodactyl will swoop down and grab you, take you up in the air, and drop you from 300 feet. When the smoke finally cleared, it was Greg who came away with a win, leaving Kurt once again in the number 2 spot.
Not a ball.
You wore me out just like you do your competition.
I sure did. I think you're going to be needing these the rest of the week, buddy.
That and a broom. Oh, boy.
Little consolation, but if Kurt keeps up his current pro stock performance level, he'll no doubt get another chance to even the score. Well, as you saw, both Kurt and Greg are mighty quick with their hands, and that kind of dexterity can come in handy when trying to wheel one of these pro stock cars, as Frank Hawley shows us in this week's Fast Fact.
With the exception of dragsters, almost all drag race cars are equipped with 4-wheel brakes, but some of them have a line lock button that allows the driver to use the front brakes independent of the rear brakes. He'll apply the brake pressure, push the button down, and then when he releases the brake pedal, the button keeps the front brake pressure on. And this is used to do burnouts in super gas and pro stock cars where the driver will sit still while the rear wheels are spinning. But this button is also used to help stage a pro stock car. As the driver's sitting at the pre-stage light with the clutch down, he'll apply the line lock button, put 300 or 400 pounds of brake pressure on, slide his foot off the brake onto the throttle, and then actually ease up on the clutch as he brings the engine up to 3,000 or 4,000 RPM and push the car against brake pressure into the stage light. Once there, the clutch is back down, he pushes the throttle to the floor, and when he wants to leave, he releases the clutch pedal and the line lock button together. This looks like a fairly complicated process, but the pros make it look easy.
NHRA founder and chairman Wally Parks received another in a long list of honors last Wednesday. He was inducted into the Motorsports Hall of Fame of America.
I'm the one that stands up and takes credit for what hundreds of thousands of enthusiasts have accomplished. And again, I'm just proud to be able to do that and have that focus of recognition on them.
It's always been a labor of love. And we never minded the long hours or what it took to get the job done. And it's marvelous to realize the recognition, and that's what this represents.
Parks and 9 other inductees from other branches of motorsports were chosen by a blue ribbon panel of experts. Parks joins other drag racers Shirley Muldowney, Connie Coletta, Don Garlitz, and Don Prudhomme as honored members of the Hall. Welcome back to the Oldsmobile Spring Nationals. Top fuel racer Tommy Johnson Jr. knows this event very well. It was here in Columbus in 1988 he got his first big win. Even though Tommy works day and night on his racing career, he still knows how important it is to take a little time out for fun with the family, as Dave McClelland now tells us.
The long hours of preparation that go into a 4-second run on the highly competitive NHRA Tour means little leisure time for the drivers and crews. So when they do get time off, where do they go?
Now we're going to go to Disney World.
A short break in the racing schedule translated into a day at the Magic Kingdom for the Tommy Johnson family, a place they had visited years ago when Wendy and Tommy Jr. were a lot younger.
Tommy made his debut in Super Gas when he was 15 years old. That's the last time we were down here, and we came down and took a little extra time and took both kids. But Wendy was real small, and now I kind of wanted to bring them back again. And it's just a real nice pleasure, kind of unwind.
We get to travel a lot, but you don't get to see a lot of sights, so taking a couple days off and going and doing fun stuff like this it's really nice to get away for a while.
I remember when I was a kid when I was here and got to see again, you know, and refresh my memory, and I want to come back again someday and bring my family back to see this when we're touring, you know, and I'll bring them with me, and we'll get to come back some other day.
The Johnsons couldn't wait to get to the Grand Prix cars. No race day jitters here, just a lot of fun.
I got left on at the beginning, but on the top end I come around them.
But I got around the first corner and I had a big lead, and then we got around about the third corner and I was in third place by then.
From there, it was on to Adventureland and a jungle cruise down some of the great rivers of the world.
Get down to that bush. Don't worry about looking stupid, I'm doing that for you. Everyone get down, don't get down, I'll make it full for everybody. Get down.
One of the last stops of the day was Frontierland and the newest ride on the 98 acres of the Magic Kingdom complex, Splash Mountain. It's a trip that's up, down, and through the briar patch to where even a top fuel racer can get a thrill and wet too.
I'm the one that got the least wet. Those two got drenched and I hit ducks.
She cheated and ducked. So I got soaked.
They put me up front, get me right up there where I get all wet. Man, it shows you how nice they are, huh?
Just like any vacation or time off, it never seems to last long enough. So after some souvenir hunting, it was time to head home and get ready for the next race. But the memories of this day will last long after this season is over.
In addition to the regular racing of the Oldsmobile Spring Nationals, this weekend also offers the 9th running of the TRW All-Stars competition. Here are the names of the drivers and their divisions who will be doing battle for both individual and team honors. And you know, many of these same racers were in action last weekend in events all across the country. We sent Bob Fry to check out the action in both Minnesota and Washington.
In school, geography never was one of my better subjects. But then I didn't have any better subjects. But I'm really confused this weekend. The guys from Nashville called me in New Jersey and told me to go to Minnesota, talk to a guy from Montana who hired some kid from California to drive his car here in the upper Midwest. I'm really confused. Then I looked at the qualified cars in the alcohol dragster, and out of the top 8, they're from 6 different states and Canada, and 2 guys from California are meeting each other in round number 1. Now I'm more confused. So just how did Californian Larry Dixon end up racing for Montana's John Mitchell? Well, actually, it kind of sounds like a commercial.
I read he didn't have a driver in National Dragster, and I dug up his phone number, gave him a call, and because he knew my old man from the old days, that's how I got a chance.
Mitchell raced Larry's father years ago in Southern California when Larry was just barely old enough to go to the races. Today, Larry follows in the footsteps of some great racers who have driven the Montana Express. Does the name Cruz Pedregon ring a bell? And Mitchell believes that Dixon has a bright future too.
I think he's going to do real well. He's got everything it takes to be a super driver. I think he'll do very good.
After 5 years of working as a mechanic on Don Prudhomme's funny car and top fuel teams, Larry thinks that it's time to move on to something that he's always wanted to do, drive a race car.
That was like one of the hardest decisions for me in my life to make, was to leave there to go do this, but I'm hoping that this will further evolve me in racing, that maybe someday I might be able to go back there. You know, you never know.
In Dixon's first-round battle with fellow Californian Darrell Hitchman in the near lane, age and experience beat out youth and exuberance.
I was kind of hoping he was really, really early, but he wasn't. I was really late, so just one of my, things I'm learning driving.
Hitchman went on to the final round and faced perennial Division V racer Doug Doucette in the far lane. As many racers put it, when it's your day, it's your day. And this race and this day belonged to Doucette.
In the final, the throttle linkage fell off at about 1,100 feet, and we just coasted over the finish line, just barely beating them.
Now here are the rest of the winners from Division 5. There was more Winston Drag Racing Series action last weekend, so let's go to the Great Northwest now and Division 6. Here's some more geography for you. Located just 2 miles from Union Gap, Washington, Renegade Raceway played host to the second stop for the Division 6 Winston Drag Racing Series. And yes, for all of you trivia buffs out there, this is the same Union Gap of Gary Puckett fame. But the man getting all the fame around here lately has been Jay Payne. Jay has taken Top Alcohol Dragster by storm this year, compiling 3 national event wins and top honors at 2 divisional races.
Well, we've had the best season we've ever had. We've won more races at the beginning of this season than we've ever won, period. Atlanta was probably the hardest race. We had to race in the second round, we raced Tom Conway, and it was another 2-footer. I mean, it was a good race. And in the semifinals, we raced Blaine Johnson, and he was a little bit late. He went quicker than we did. He went in 88, and we went in 89. We won that one. And in the semifinals, Chuck Baird went in 81 in the other round, and we went in 89. And in the final, Baird slowed down a little bit, and we went in 86. And I think he went in 92. That one was real surprising.
Payne credits his crew and the help of fellow racer Tom Conway on his fuel system for this early season success. But winning definitely hasn't gone to Jay's head.
It's like a big old pendulum. It goes around, and it'll slow down, or the other people will catch up and pass us. So just got to take each day as it comes.
Jay currently leads the points chase for the Winston Championship, but in years past, Jay Payne picked up a nickname, Thunderslug, for his not-so-fast cars.
It's kind of a nickname, and it's fun, because for 2 years it was really a rock. I mean, our car was really slow. I mean, like somebody said something about, well, you're running all these races. Well, we ran them all last year, too, but when you lose first round on Saturday, nobody ever noticed that you were there.
In the second round at Renegade, Jay met Rick Santos. Rick, in the far lane, has won 2 consecutive divisional races at this track, and he stayed hot as he cooled off Jay Payne with his narrow win. Santos went on to face George Johnson in the near lane. Johnson became the first in the 5s at Renegade during qualifying. But in the final, it was Santos in the 5s and Johnson with the whole shot and the all-important win light. His first since coming into alcohol just 1 year ago.
That feels wonderful. I'm so thankful. We worked so hard on this deal, and when it pays off like this, it's really exciting. I'm just really thankful.
Now, here are the rest of the winners from Division 6. For NHRA Today, I'm Bob Fry.
NHRA Today is a presentation of Diamond P Sports.